Hey, I'm Joe with RevZilla, and on the lift today, I'm going to show you how to install a Nuetech Tubliss Gen 2.0 kit. This is a unique setup that allows you to run sub 10 PSI tire pressures in your dirt bike tires. Why would you want that? Stick around to find out. There are a few reasons to switch your dirt bike's traditional inner tubes out for a tubeless system. Low tire pressure equals a much bigger footprint for more traction on a variety of off-road terrain. Sure, you can run low pressures with traditional inner tubes, but pinch flats and rim damage are imminent. The tubeless kit provides superior rim protection thanks to the internal high pressure bladder. And lastly, the lower tire pressure also means a much plusher ride. Now, if you want more info specific to the tubeless system, be sure to check out my detailed breakdown video on our product page. This product is made to work exclusively with dirt bikes, so we're going to use our 2021 KTM 350 EXCF to show you the installation process on the rear wheel. But first things first, let's go over what we need to get the job done. First on the list are new tires. Since we're converting traditional tube-type tires into tubeless, I don't recommend installing these in old or used tires since they will not likely seal like we need them to. Next, you'll want to make sure that you have the appropriately sized tubeless kits. Be sure to use the tubeless fitment chart on our product page for reference when shopping for them. A tire changing stand with the bead breaker does make this job a lot easier, but it's not absolutely necessary. You can certainly get away with the trusty old milk crate. A tire pump or compressor and a pressure gauge that can read up to 110 PSI. Most decent bicycle pumps can handle this. You'll also need wheel removal tools like axle nut and pinch bolt wrenches. And some bikes may need a hex axle tool like this one, so be sure to check your bike service manual for the wheel removal process specific to your machine. We need a 7/16 drill bit and drill, fine sandpaper, 3 curved tire irons, valve core removal tool, Armor All or other tire dressing, a squirt bottle with soapy water, a 14mm wrench, a torque wrench with a 14mm socket, small tip knife or box cutter, and shop rags. We're going to start by prepping the rim, so you'll want to remove the old tire and inner tube from your wheel and clean up your rim with soap and water. Most rims will have 2 holes in them already, one for the valve stem and one for the rim lock. It's important that these are 4 spokes apart from one another. Thankfully, our KTM is already set up with the holes like this, but I did need to enlarge one of them up to 7/16 with the drill bit I mentioned earlier to accommodate the tubeless system. Use sandpaper to take down any burrs or sharp edges around the hole you drilled or anywhere else you find them around the rim. Then thoroughly clean the rim once more with soap and water to clear away any metal shavings. Once it's dry, plug any unused holes with the included plug and apply 3 full wraps of rim tape. The first time around the center, the second time around one side of the drop center, and the final wrap off to the other side of the drop center. After the rim is prepped, you're ready to start prepping the tubeless system. Start by spraying the entire system down with silicone tire dressing to make the installation easier. Then remove the inner bladder. Completely remove both valve cores from each valve stem. Now align the rim lock of the red liner with the larger hole in the rim and the inner bladder's valve stem with the smaller hole. Lastly, you'll want to reinsert the inner bladder into the red liner, ensuring the valve stems are aligned with the holes in the rim. And now you're ready to install the system onto your wheel. Insert the rim lock into the larger hole and hand tighten the lock nut. Insert the bladder's valve stem through the smaller hole and put the knurled nut on about halfway. Work the liner onto the drop center of the rim toward the valve stem around the rim until you run out of slack. Use your tire irons to get the liner and bladder fully installed. Take small bites with the irons, ensuring you're working on both sides of the red liner at the same time. This should not take a ton of effort. If it does, stop and ensure the rest of the liner is pinched down into the drop center part of the rim. Now we're ready to get the tire back onto the rim. Stand the tire up and place the included guide plate on the bottom bead closest to you. Unlike a traditional tire installation, you will be putting the wheel all the way inside the tire between both beads with the rim lock at the bottom. You'll likely need a tire iron to get the job done. Just be sure to keep downward pressure on the wheel to keep it from popping back out of the tire. Now prop the wheel up on your tire stand or milk crate and work the bead in starting opposite of the rim lock. Take small bites and ensure the bead is sitting down in the drop center opposite of where you're working to ensure you're not overstretching the bead. If the bead is damaged at this point, it will not hold air, so it pays to be careful. Lastly, flip the wheel over and work the other side of the tire onto the rim. Second verse, same as the first. We're almost done. All that's left is lubing and inflating the tire. Here's a pro tip. If you want, you can use your choice of tire sealant. The advantage of using a sealant is that any small punctures will automatically be sealed versus requiring a plug. Just be sure to follow the instructions specific to the sealant you choose. Some sealants may be rendered useless on contact with the soapy water needed to finish the job. But for this install, I'm going to forgo the sealant and just use the soapy water. Push the tire down every 4 spokes and squirt the soapy water in, ensuring everything inside gets a healthy dose. This is key to a good airtight seal. Repeat on the other side of the tire and then bounce the tire on the ground as you turn it to thoroughly coat the inside. Now reinstall the valve cores into both stems. Inflate the bladder to 110 psi and the tire to your desired pressure. I recommend starting around 10 psi and adjusting to your liking or based on the conditions you plan on riding in. Tighten the bladder stem nut against the red valve stem cap, not the rim. Then tighten the bead lock nut against the rim to 11 foot-pounds or 15 Newton meters. And now you've done it. Now you know how to install a tubeless system on your own, and you're all set to reinstall your wheels and go shred. Enjoy insane traction with extraordinarily low tire pressures while the high pressure inner air chamber protects your rim. I do recommend checking the pressure in both your high and low pressure chambers before every ride, as it is normal for them to lose a little air over time. If you have any questions about tubeless, tires, tools, or anything else motor related, give our Gear Geeks a shout at 877-792-9455 or shoot an email to cs@RevZilla.com. Thanks for watching us on The Lift today. I'm Joe, and I'll see you next time.